Hello everyone, it's Roaster from your boy Jet Black the one and only, here with another exciting live stream. And today in this video, I'll be doing an anniversary duel, me versus Kirby, celebrating the first time me and Kirby ever met playing Yu-Gi-Oh! First, I'm going to build a couple decks. One's going to be anti-Ancient Gears in general, and the other one is going to be a Metalfoes deck, but it will use what I set up in the anti-Ancient Gears as a way to better work around Kirby. So already what I'm noticing is that Ancient Gears don't seem to have any traps to themselves. They seem to have a lot of spells. So if they run a lot of spells, it may be worth it to play things like Anti-Spell Fragrance in order to slow down spell plays. I also noticed that they have a lot of fusion monsters. So if I can altogether stop fusion summoning, that also would be really great. So look out for that. And that's without reading anything, right? Like without researching what any of these cards actually do by just reading them. I already have a good idea of things we can stop. Looks like Ancient Gear monsters for the most part are Earth. I see one Dark. They also seem to be machines for the most part. So if I can stop the special summoning or just the summoning in general of Earth monsters, that should really slow down Ancient Gear plays, I imagine. So let's see if we can do that. So we have stuff like special summon this card. This card was tribute summoning. It can do piercing. So there's some tribute summoning in here too. Let's see. He's not going to run the Tune one. I'd be very surprised. This one cannot be special summoned. If it attacks your opponent, cannot activate any spell or trap card until the end of the damage step. It's just piercing. See a lot of piercing-based things. Cannot be special summoned. Attacks the defense position monster with piercing. Can do it up to twice per turn. Discard a machine monster. Can attack again. You can add poly from deck to hand. Definitely focusing on fusion. Let's see, attacks. Your opponent can activate spells and traps. So there's a lot here to try and keep your opponent from activating spells and traps. So if I can make my deck not very dependent on spells and traps, then I don't have to worry about being cucked by these anti-spells and trap card effects. That would be very nice. Okay, let's see. Has a lot of green, red and yellow gadget stuff. I imagine he's not playing that. At the end of the damage step when this card was tributed by tributing an Ancient Gear monster. Let's see. You can banish your opponent's monster. That was interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of your opponent can't activate spells and traps, as mentioned earlier. Let's see. That one also gains effects depending on what gadgets you tribute. I imagine he's not going to be playing the gadget monsters. Let's see. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate. Yep. Negate the effects of an opponent's monster destroyed by battle with this card, including in the graveyard. He seems scary. He's a very anti-Gradle kind of play. So that'd be interesting to work around. Yeah. I'm really going to have to try and make a strategy that doesn't focus on spells and traps, because they're really just going to stop you from using them. Oh, wow. We're just getting into level 4 monsters. I hadn't noticed, but most of the stuff here is high level and things that you can't special summon. So if you have a lot of high-level cards that can't be special summoned, you could easily see that being shut down by making it where your opponent can't tribute. Something like Mask of Restrict very early on could slow down your opponent. So that definitely would be worth running. This is a Gemini monster. Stops you from using spells and traps. You can add cards from your deck to your hand. With so many spell cards in his deck, I could see a thing that shuts down your opponent playing spells being really useful against him. like the spellcaster village kind of thing, that could be a hard shutdown. Let's see. See, that's special summoning right there. This card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spells or traps. This card's normal special summon. Declare one card type this turn. If a monster you control attacks your opponent's spells, traps, or monster effects, whichever was declared, cannot be activated. Woo, that sounds annoying. Until the end of the damage step. So I guess what I want to do is stop him from tributing. Yep. I want to stop him from tributing, and I want to stop him from fusion summoning. Okay. So now I just need to figure out stopping from tributing, fusion summoning, and casting spells, but also have my own win condition. So if he's not going to be able to do any of those things, let's figure out what we need. I could see something like spellcasters, like Secret Village of Spellcasters, could help really slow down Ancient Gears, preventing them from using spells. Secret Sanctuary of Spellcasters is pretty nice as well. Again, I won't be able to throw that into a Metalfoes deck. Let's see. That monster cannot attack or activate its effects during its turn. Yeah, I remember that. So that'll be pretty useful against Ancient Gears. I don't think I would want to use anti-spell fragrance necessarily. I know I run a lot of dark monsters, so I could see myself getting away with a barrier statue, like a singular one. Barrier Statue of Abyss is not a spellcaster. None of them are spellcasters, actually. Aqua, Rock, Fairy, Pyro, Wing, Beast, Fiend. Okay. That would have been nice, though, to be able to run a barrier statue in here. Just having something that's not Earth be played would be enough to really help slow down his deck, because he mainly has Earth, and then he has a dark monster. I'm thinking about Pendulum Magicians, but if I want to stop him from special summoning, that's going to be pretty difficult. Mask of Restrict seems like it would be good as a way to prevent him from tributing, because if he can't tribute his monsters, he's not going to be able to go into his higher level Ancient Gears. So these all seem pretty okay. But I still need stuff that will stop him from fusion summoning. I know there are definitely cards that do that, but I'm trying to remember the name of some. Let me get the live chat up for this. I'm surprised I don't have it up already. Okay, so pulling up the live chat now. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone in the live chat. Okay, currently loading. Just trying his hardest to load. Let's see, do I have any unnecessary tabs open? I can close one tab I have open. Okay, I now have the chat loaded. Doesn't look like anyone's posted in it yet. It didn't look like anyone had posted yet, so that's not surprising. So we got Secret Sanctuary, Secret Village, Mask of Restrict, so we can stop, and we can stop tributing. What we want to stop next is fusion summoning. That'd be pretty good. Because none of his things are spellcasters either, so he's not going to be able to do anything. I don't know why I literally started typing infusion summoning. I think there's something that has barrier in its name that's not a barrier statue. That's a trap card. But there are too many cards that have barrier in their name for me to scroll to it. So I'm going to just, in another tab, look up traps that stop fusion summoning. Actually, is there an easier way for me to do this that doesn't require the Secret Sanctuary and Secret Village? Real quick. What does Denku Seka do? Okay, yeah, I did type it incorrectly. I wasn't sure. Or maybe I didn't. It's Denko Seka. While you control no spells, set spells or traps, neither player can set spells or traps, nor activate spell or trap cards that are set on the field. So I imagine you could do stuff like play Denko Seka and then play like anti-spell fragrance. Anti-spell, remove 2 spell counter. Okay, I'm not messing with spell counters. Because anti-spell fragrance will say players must set spell cards before activating them and cannot activate them until their next turn after setting. So all spells essentially become traps. So if you play Denko Seka while anti-spell fragrance is active on the field, your opponent has to set any spells and traps that they play. And it only counts if you have set spells and traps, meaning that if your trap is not set, it doesn't count. Then after you have anti-spell fragrance and Denko Seka up, that should be a lockdown, right? That's worth a Google, because I'm not 100% sure if that's true. It should be in the card tip section. But that would be a solid lockdown to try and stop my opponent from using spells. Because it didn't look like Ancient Gears had any traps whatsoever. Okay, let's see. Combo this card with anti-spell fragrance so that neither player can activate spell/trap cards. That's what I thought. Okay, lesser substitutes for this combo have the same effect, which includes Spell Canceller, Chorus of the Black Flame Dragon. What's Spell Canceller? Got some lag going on. It's a level 5 monster. Probably wouldn't run a level 5 monster. It's a wind machine, which is interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that. So if we can have the Denko Seka anti-spell fragrance play, that'd be pretty good. It's a Thunder Light monster. Is that searchable by Seahorse? Thunder Seahorse. Add 2 level 4 light thunder monsters. Yeah, buddy. But you can't special summon. That's fine. Because I don't want to anyways. So Denko Seka and Thunder Seahorse are gonna... Well, no, Thunder Seahorse are gonna let me search Denko Seka. Denko Seka alongside Anti-Spell Fragrance will let me stop my opponent from casting spells for real. It seems like I would want to make sure that like my traps went off. Like the ones that I would want to shut down my opponent's plays before anything else could happen to shut them down. Because what essentially I would have to be doing by saying my opponent can't activate spells is I would be saying that I don't need to activate spells myself. But that's a significantly more difficult feat to make it where I can't activate spells. Well, to make it where like I don't need to activate spells. Because I'm thinking the other thing that I would want to shut down would be fusion summoning, since it's the main alternative summoning mechanic. So stop fusion summoning. I feel like there's going to be something that's like dimensional barrier. Or maybe like dimensional warp or something. It's lagging surprisingly hard, considering this is just Nexus. Yeah, declare one monster card type for the rest of this turn. It's only a turn-based thing, which isn't as good. Let's see. Artifact Scythe, level 5. Necros of Sophia, level 11. March of Monarchs, non-fusion area. That's pretty specific. So non-fusion area. It's a continuous trap. Neither player can fusion summon. That's pretty much exactly what I would want. Again, I'd probably want to get that off before I got Denko Seka off even. So if I can stop my opponent from playing spells and I can stop my opponent from fusion summoning, I've locked down a good setup of their deck. Let's see, so Ancient Gears. Let's look at the lower level Ancient Gears. You got 1800, 17, 16, 13. So they got some pretty strong muscle when it comes to straight up fights. Are any of them going to stop monster effects straight up? Because I could just try and steal a lot of his monsters. Your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects until the end of the damage step. So you wouldn't be able to do things like steal Ancient Gear Wyvern. Ancient Gear Frame, I think, can be stolen. Soldier can be stolen. That can prevent itself from being stolen, but it's not strong enough to kill anything by itself anyways. That's not going to stop me from doing anything. This card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells or return until the end of the damage step. Once per turn, you can fusion summon. Yeah, so the issue with Ancient Gear Hunting Hound is he's going to allow him to be able to fusion summon without using a traditional fusion spell card. So I can stop him from using all his spells, but he can still have Hunting Hound and just work over anyways. Also, it seems like I have multiple traps that I would really like to be able to use against him, and Denko Seka may cause more issues being in my deck than not if I have all these traps I want to work with. Because Mask of Restrict still seems pretty good to stop all those high-level Ancient Gears, but that is if he's tributing in the first place. I really need to read the Ancient Gear spell cards and see what they do, because they may just be workarounds where you don't even have to do anything. Attack. Reveal one level 5 or higher Ancient Gear monster from your hand, then banish a number of Ancient Gear monsters from your graveyard using combined levels or double the revealed monsters. And if you do, if you normal summon the revealed monster this turn, you must normal summon it without tributing. Factory may be the way that you get around tributing. But if I stop you from doing that, then you would have to tribute for them. Workshop, adds it from your graveyard to your hand. Catapult, he can just pop a card on the field. Special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. That's pretty good. Banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up card you control and destroy it if you do special summon one Ancient Gear token. Pretty sure he has Catapult. Ancient Gear Fusion is a fusion spell card, which is pretty good. Ancient Gear Drill, if you control an Ancient Gear monster, discard one card, set one spell card directly from your deck. This turn, that spell card cannot be activated. let's see. I like that it lets you search and you spell. Spell continuous during this turn. They were normal special summon. Your opponent cannot target ancient gear monsters you control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of ancient gear cards or effects. If this card is destroyed in the spell and trap card zone, you special summon one ancient gear monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except ancient gear monsters. Ancient Gear Fortress is pretty interesting. I think the issue with this deck currently is that I want to run a bunch of traps, but I want to shut down spells and traps at some point in the deck. So it's risky. Not at some point in the deck, at some point in the play. Let's see another continuous. All Ancient Gear monsters gain 300. Each time a monster is normal summon / set, plays one counter on this card. If you tribute summon an Ancient Gear monster face up, you can tribute this card instead. Oh, that's cool. If the number of its counters is equal to or greater than the number of required tributes. So I would want to slow him down in that regard if I can. I do feel like these cards will do somewhat of a decent job. What I would also probably want would be something to just stop him. Let's say I don't get the fusion thing out right. At least throw in a couple barrier statues that are not earth or dark. So maybe a light barrier statue, sort, and then dark, because I don't plan on special summoning it. Not dark. They're going to have dark. They're all the same, so just pick another one that's not earth. I'll go light and fire barrier statues. So that'll help stop a lot of the fusion summoning, the playing of spells, tributing. So now the rest of my deck needs to focus on not doing those things and also somehow winning. Probably going to play Prohibition, because Danko Sekko works as long as you control no set spells or traps. So I can have face-up spells and traps, but I can't have any set on the field. So I could see myself using Prohibition to straight up ban some Ancient Gear cards. I probably would want to ban stuff like Catapult or the really big fusion monster. I don't like him. Yeah, I could get rid of like Chaos Ancient Gear Giant, say that like you can't use that. I could say that you can't use Catapult. I could say you can't use Fortress or Castle. You know, it all depends on like when I draw those cards. But hopefully I don't spite myself. I have a lot of spells and traps in this deck for me to be like, oh, I'm not gonna be using those. Because clearly it seems like I'm getting ready to use those. So hopefully this will help shut down a lot of his plays at least a little bit. I'm acting like Danko Sekka is going to be like perfectly fine. But Danko Sekka can easily just get destroyed. And there aren't easy ways to protect Danko Sekka either. I don't know. I still question Danko Sekka being in the deck. And the idea of completely shutting down his ability to play spells. That just seems unlikely. Shutting down fusion summoning with a non-fusion area sounds fine. Shutting down tributes sounds fine. Also, are there other like non-area cards? Because that would be interesting. I don't know. The world may never know. So I can try and stop his fusion summoning. That's the thing. What else? I really like Amber Factor Imagination. He's pretty good. Negate the effects of face-up fusion, synchro, and X these monsters while they're on the field. So I do like to run him when I know my opponent's just going to do a lot of a particular type of summoning. And it's pretty big. It could be bigger, but it's not like the best around. Throwing some hidden armories, because I probably want some moon mirror shields to make it a little bit tougher. Just saying. Okay, then with the moon mirror shields in the non-fusion areas, I still probably want, you wouldn't want Mask of Restrict, because if I stopped Tribute, well, he can stop spell effects. It is interesting to try and play around it. And try and figure out how I'm going to play around it. Because I'm going to be playing with a Metalfoes deck. And Metalfoes have pendulum effects, but they don't have monster effects. And a lot of them have to do with destroying cards you control. And when you destroy the card that you control, you set a spell or trap card from your deck that's a Metalfoes spell or trap. So with that being the case, special summon, well, fusion summon one Metalfoes monster, fusion from your deck. Let's see, you can target one Metalfoes monster in your graveyard with a lower level than the fusion monster. Special summon. So I am still thinking about how exactly I would want to play around his Ancient Gears using Metalfoes. Because I also have essentially a fusion heavy summoning deck. So doing things that stop fusion summoning can slow down my deck. Now what I could do is I could just try and prevent. I can make a Metalfoes deck that doesn't fusion summon. That actually doesn't seem too bad. A Metalfoes deck that doesn't focus on fusion summoning. Let's see. 3/8 scales, 3/1 scales, 3/1 scales. Let's see. And this is an 8 scale, but it's weak. I might run it. It exists kind of just to be put in a scale. I could also... Oh, it has an effect. I forgot. That is the effect monster for Metalfoes. Boo. So yeah, these are the only normal ones. I'm going to stick with the normal Metalfoes monsters. Yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. Good to have you. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what deck I'm going to use against Kirby. I know it has to be a Metalfoes deck, and I know it'll be facing an Ancient Gear deck. So I'm going to be trying to stop him from making Ancient Gear plays while making Metalfoes plays. At least that's the goal. Ryan said foes. Let's see, terraforming. Because I will be using the Metalfoes area. Field spell. I'm trying to remember what's the name of it because it has a dumb name. So it's not foes. There are a lot of cards that say metal. I can just look it up in another tab. Metalfoes field. Metal is like metamorphosis. It's not metamorphosis. Let's see. Ryan said if he summons Chaos Giant, it'll be hard to deal with. Understandable. It's metamorphormation. There we go. Yeah, Metalfoes monsters you control except effect monsters are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. And I know he is going to summon Chaos Giant. This is one of those been here, done that things. Ancient Gear. Go, go, go. There we go. Because he definitely runs this guy. Unaffected by spell and trap effects. Your opponent's monsters can activate their effects during battle phase. My monsters don't have effects. Let's see. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks a defense position monster, deal piercing. Okay. Keep my monsters in attack. Don't rely on back row to save you. Okay. Be stronger than him. That seems to be my plan right now. Non-fusion non-fusion area should help a little bit if I can get it out early enough and stop him from fusion summoning. Let's see. So then I want to add some moon mirror shields. Since this is a throwback duel anyways, why not some throwback tactics? I also could use imagination to try and dick on him. There's a really weird cluster set. So sort that. Okay. Only can put so many more spells and traps in here before it's cluttered. Probably would want to run... let's see. How many level 4s are in here? They're like all different levels. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have a level 7, level 4, level 3s, level 2s. 2 plus 3 plus 5. It's like 2 plus 3 plus 3, 4 plus 4, 4 plus 2 plus 2. You could never use this and go into imagination. Because he's level 7. Unless I use a spell card that lets you exceed. Advanced Ritual Art needs total levels equal. What about Earth Champ? Exactly equal. That's worse. But it seems like I'll probably be going with Advanced Ritual Art. Manju. 2, 3. Then 1 copy of Sinju. One copy of Sonic Bird. Sort, and then you have 2 spell and trap card spaces left. Let's see. I don't want to stop tributing, because if I stop tributing, that'll hurt me more than anything. Don't want to stop spell cards. My deck has a lot of spell card stuff in it. Wouldn't put in anything like Preparation of Rites. It was like a level 8 monster. Wouldn't want to put in Pre-Preparation of Rites because his ritual spell is just ass. Excuse me. Raigeki is pretty good, but a lot of his stuff is like unaffected by spells and traps when happens. So that's less effective than it could be, but I don't think it would be too bad of an addition. I know he just has a lot of spells. He has a lot of high-level monsters, and of course he's going to try and do a lot of fusion summoning. Maybe some search. I have search for field plays. I have search for equips. I have search for ritual monsters. I have search for ritual spells. Honestly, when it comes to ritual monster and spell search, I only have 3 ritual spells and 3 ritual monsters. So 3 Manju I get. That could search either or. So that's covered. But then with only 1 of each of these, does the math work out? You have 6 cards to search and you only have 4 searchers. Yeah. So it's like you have less searchers than you would probably want. Well, that's gross. Why would I want Volflame? To balance out scales. I see. So if you get rid of one kind of scale, you probably want to get rid of one of another. So if I drop this, so if I drop that 1 scale, I can also drop that 8 scale. I dropped him actually out of existence. And then that will allow me to increase it to where I can probably have 2 Sinju and 2 Sonic Bird, which will give me exactly 6 searchers. It also makes the deck an even split between 2 classics, which is nice. 2 things that I used to run a lot. So we got an anti-fusion monster, an anti-fusion trap. We have essentially a totally different play with a lot of these guys, because I can use the Metalfoes and try and do indestructible Metalfoes by searching out their field play spell card and getting Moon Mirror Shield on them while I have them in Pendulum Scales. But that's less likely to happen. I didn't put a lot of stuff to search them in particular in this deck. But I guess that's what the issue comes from. I either need to commit to playing something that will be really good against Ancient Gears, or I need to just commit to playing something with Metalfoes. Not necessarily saying you can't make a deck that has the best of both, but just saying that's a lot to try and do right now versus just playing a game. So I'll make a true Metalfoes real quick, and then maybe I can edit it once I look at what it looks like when it's done. Huh. Man, that's a weird name. Okay. Then we got, it's not hard to remember what these cards are. Feels like it was yesterday. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Then I think there's a search for what's his face. Yo, Ryan, what's the card that gets you a high level normal monster from your deck to your hand? I can kind of imagine it, but I can't remember what it is. It's not Ancient Rules because that lets you play them. It's not the Searcher. While you're looking that up, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some juice. Hashtag juice. Okay, I'm back. Summoner's Art, and then Ryan in all caps said juice. You know it. Pouring some juice now. Thank you again, Ryan. Let's see. So that's a good amount of search. So if I control no monsters, I can grab one of them from my deck and just play it, special summon it straight. I can send one of them from my deck to my graveyard and grab one with the same name, all except for the level 7 one. This one is also all except for the level 7 one. This search is Moon Mirror Shield, which I haven't thrown in yet. This search is their field play spell card. This search is the level 7. So Metalfoes have a lot of search potential because they're normies. But I guess if this is all I want / need, then I should be able to add some things to try and slow him down. That to stop tributes. Non-fusion area to stop fusion summons. I have space for one more card. Ryan, what should the last card be? Considering my plan is to go up against Ancient Gears. Actually, Upstart Goblin. Drawing a card. So that's Ryan's recommendation for the last card. Ryan, what are your thoughts on You wouldn't want that. What would I want? Gravity Bind, I could see its use. But I guess it wouldn't be a good idea. I'll go with what Ryan said. Throw in one copy of Upstart. Let's shuffle, see what we get. At 8 scale, on 1 scale, the ability to grab Gold Driver, non-fusion area, and Mask of Restrict all in the first hand. let's say we're going second rather than first. We already have Gold Driver. You can set up your 1 and your 8 scale. However, you didn't get Metamorphmation, which sucks. You can search your other copy of Gold Driver or your other copy of any of the other ones you already had in your hand. You can set up non-fusion area and try and launch it on your opponent's next turn. You can do the same thing with Mask of Restrict, and that's about it. Sadly, you did not get the fusion spell card. Okay, let's try another one. You got Mask of Restrict, you got the field spell, you got the equip, which you didn't get before. You have a way to search one of your Metalfoes, and you have one of your Metalfoes. So if that's the case, that's a pretty good first turn end, and if you go second turn, it's about the same. You just have 2 Moon Mirror Shields. You can set it up where you have a Metalfoe on the field that's unaffected by your opponent's card effects and is stronger than any monster your opponent has. And when it hits your opponent's turn, you can flip Mask of Restrict and tell your opponent that they can't tribute monsters. That'll be about all you did, but it's not a bad thing. Shuffle. Okay. Play non-fusion area. Have more than enough Metalfoes that you can put on the field, but nothing really to defend them or to keep them on the field. If you go second, however, you get Hidden Armory so that when you play Metalfoes, you can set up scales, have your Metalfoe, and you can protect it with Moon Mirror Shield. And the next turn, you're supposedly going to get Terraforming, and the play will kind of come together. Scale, him, field spell, Moon Mirror Shield. So that's good for setting up the whole play minus any of the traps. You'll end up with the Moon Mirror Shield and something in your scale, and having the field play spell card on the field. Not bad. That's just a handful of monsters. That's really gross. But if you go second, it's a handful of monsters and a Moon Mirror Shield. At least you can set up scales, summon multiples if you wanted to. I don't think you would. And then slap a Moon Mirror Shield on one. And then your next turn, you would draw into Terraforming, which will let you get the field play spell card. And now they're not affected by your opponent's monster effects, and it's a lot better. This lets you get the Indestructible play up, and you get Mask of Restrict. This lets you get the Indestructible play up, and you get Moon Mirror Shield. Well, that is a part of the Indestructible play. So that just does the play. It doesn't do anything special. Just does the play. A bunch of monsters and Mask of Restrict. And if you go second, more monsters. You don't get much out of it. Non-fusion area really early is nice. You almost get the play, but then thanks to Upstart Goblin, you draw and you get the... You almost get the play even then, because you don't have Moon Mirror Shield. You can't finish off the play. But at least you stopped their fusion with that one. Almost get the play, but no Moon Mirror Shield. Plenty of Moon Mirror Shield, but you don't have enough monsters to get the play unless you go second. So this isn't really anti-Ancient Gears for real, though. It's like Metalfoes, and it hopes it'll beat Ancient Gears, but it's not optimized for it. I'm going to message Kirby and see what he's up to. feel like Kirby will be significantly more prepared. Let's see. I'm going to ask, are you free to duel? Okay. Seems like Kirby hasn't been online for like 2 hours. So it's highly possible he's not free. Oh, there's Kirby. He might be free. He said yes. Oh, ballin'. Good to hear that he's free. Always like to go up against a boss, like a bot first, and not actually fight him. I just like to pick my deck in this menu. People never pop in and go like, hey, why aren't you starting the thing up? Excuse me. Okay, and I should run into Kirby in XUXV. XUXV. I'm not sure if Kirby is ready for action. I imagine he is. He was mentioning building his deck earlier. Right now I'm vibing, waiting for Kirby. There we are. Looking for friends and fun duels. Ooh. Yo, Curbs, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Great to hear. Let's get this party started. Kirby with the celebratory woo. Let's see. It really will depend on what I draw, how well this hand goes. It's not bad. There's that guy. He's already fusion summoning. Is there no hope? There's no hope. Giants here. Okay. So, need to make sure got the order right. I'm waiting for opponent. He does have one face down. Okay. There we go. So far, so good. Okay. This time there's like a solid wait. So I have no idea what Kirby's about to do. Kirby said, ah, yes, the bumbling buffoon. Let's see how this goes. Kirby said, Metalfoes fusion. There we go. So we got rid of Giant. Ryan was like, if Kirby gets Giant out, Jet's going to be in a lot of trouble. That all depends, Ryan. That all depends. It gains 200 attack. This should be interesting. Okay. Kirby pass turn. I'm going to see what I can do. And then attack directly for 22. Okay, he's going to special summon an Ancient Gear monster from the grave. Ancient Gear Reborn is pretty good. It's Monster Reborn, but it makes them better when they come back, and he can keep using it. So he gets to activate Ancient Gear Reborn. So he summons Reactor and Defense. At the end of damage type, the equipped monster battled a monster and is still on the field. Destroy the monster in battle. And is still on the field. Well, then we just have to make sure he's not still on the field then, right? That doesn't seem too bad. Okay, cool, yeah. Then he'll get to activate his thing. I can see this cycle going on for a bit until I get what I need. He's getting double the cards, though, which is very interesting. Because he can always search whenever I pop something, because he'll just return the thing. Yeah, that's interesting. Ooh. In attack position? I'm surprised. Oh, this shit. Okay, I don't think it'll be too bad, Fortress. See, we got Ancient Gear Golem. Huh. It doesn't stop Moon Mirror Shield, apparently. That's good to know. Yeah, he can activate Reborn. Isn't that early, though? I'll be able to actually swing at you for some damage. I actually am curious what his motivation was for that particular play. It doesn't seem advantageous. Let's see. Excuse me? Attack with that first. He shouldn't be able to defend himself at this moment. Yep, 22 direct. And pass. I think I know what I could do. No, I couldn't do that because I don't have any in the deck. Plus, I would hit myself for 5. It's not worth it to do it that way. That's the even worse hit. Yeah. I'm trying to get something that's a little meatier on the field, but I just may not need it. See, I was really afraid of him, so I'm glad that I got non-fusion area up early. Because even if I stop you from using spell cards, you can always just fusion summon with him. Let's see. I'm going to thin the deck a little bit. This time he'll be really safe. Because he can just do the defense thing, yeah. We'll replay, and he'll have 4 cards in his hand because he'll use Wyvern to search. But it's not bad. And then I pass. Oh, snap. Castle. I thought Castle was an interesting card. I still think Legacy of the Duelist is a really interesting card that I'm surprised doesn't see more play. I was just thinking about, like, it'd be cool if I had that on the field right now. Because I'd be able to essentially just attack Ancient Gear Reborn and then just be like, I don't want to have to deal with it anymore. Oh, snap. He played a big boy. But I'm actually surprised he played the big boy. He's pretty safe right now. Is there a card that prevents either player from normal summoning? Like at all? Until the card's destroyed? Because that would be interesting. Because there are special summoning methods that don't require you to have anything on field. So you could be like, I'm going to make my whole deck to be based around special summoning without having cards on field, and then try and defeat your opponent that way. Excuse me? It's the Gemini monster. Double Gold Driver. Do you like my bike? Let's see. Gold Driver is my favorite. And then he can protect himself for the last hit with Reborn. Which will allow him to search a card. Replay. Destroy that one. And we keep going. My back row is full, which means I can play monsters, but I can't do too much more than that. That actually is an interesting conundrum. With Reborn, he can just keep doing that for the most part. Battle phase. That made me really quickly be like, I need to be reading some cards. What's about to go down? Oh. So he used that to get rid of non-fusion area. We'll see how this goes, because that actually is really interesting. Ooh. Then he's going to go for Ancient Gear Fusion. Okay. Okay. That's not too bad. I was actually pretty scared because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But this seems workable. $4,800 stealing. Only if it leaves the field due to card effect, not by attack. Good to know. Still working around it. Ancient Gear Reborn is really good. Countess. Pouring some juice. Still messes with me that it's like, it was 100% juice with added ingredients. It's like 100% juice from concentrate with added ingredients. He blew up something. I was thinking about juice too hard. What happened? I actually don't know. Because I thought I would look up and I would just suddenly see it. Did he let one of his guys die? I think he let one of his guys die so that he could get rid of a moon mirror shield. This is interesting. First blood from my own weapon. Okay, that was the one that was hurt. Wasn't sure. Caught me sipping, now he caught me slipping. Okay, this will help me reestablish my board anyways, which is not a bad thing. And this time around, I know where everybody's connections are. This game got a lot closer suddenly, which is nice. This is actually really interesting because what Kirby has discovered is a 500-point punish that only, has a 100-point penalty. So even though he has to kill his own thing to like do it on his own turn, in the end, it doesn't matter. Oh. Oh, but Kirby may not know the system. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I imagine he should know. But he may not. He knew. It was not a best kept secret. Because he can definitely punish. My biggest issue right now is that I can't get rid of Reborn. So I think if I was to change anything about this deck, it would be I would give it removal. Because removal right now, Kirby has like a draw engine, which is really good. And he has a removal engine that both are really consistent and both work around how this deck plays. The only issue I would have with removal is that if I had removal in this deck, then I'd only really be able to use it when I had zones free. Oh, that is a good point. How did I somehow not notice that Ancient Gear Reborn was a card? I must have seen the, like, purple border, but thought it was a fusion, even though it didn't have any levels. That is bizarre. I am curious what he put face down. Okay. Ryan, I don't know. I don't agree with your recommended card. I would argue I'm too much of a wuss to use it. It's a very cocky card. So then you hit yourself for 5. He brings the thing back anyways. Yeah, without more beaters on field, your play options are weak. Excuse me. Can he only do it during his own turn? Because I didn't lose anything. If so, that's very interesting. He grabbed the spell equip, the big metal fist one. I guess I gotta read him. If this card attacked, so it's not when this card is attacked. I see. So he can only do it on his own turn. But he won't still be there. So won't that be for naught? He can swing, but he'll die. And he'll lose the thing. Oh, it's a 1100 damage burn. I see. I'm very confused as well, Kirby, because I took all that damage and nothing left my board. Kaiba might be cheating. See that code in the background? That's Kaiba rigging the duel. Don't worry though, Kirby. I mean, you still definitely have this duel. My deck is very one-trick pony. I have like one thing that the deck can do really well. And then if things don't go the deck's way, the deck will just lose. So I definitely need something to take care of Ancient Gear Reborn. Because it definitely is raining on my parade. I have a lot of Mask of Restrict in this deck that I honestly don't need. I could see me dropping every single copy of it and throwing in Legacy of the Duelist. I think that's what I would do after this match to make this deck better. Because if I had copies of Legacy of the Duelist in my hand, I feel like there's a lot more I could do. I really like the idea of monsters destroying traps. Destroying spells is a weird concept. See that Mask of Restrict, Kirby? I'm not going to use that mask. The only other thing I could see myself changing is maybe Upstart Goblin. It's very cocky. Is Kirby going to leave me with 200 left this turn? Oh, my brain is like, wait a minute, remember? For whatever reason, he's not actually blowing up Moon Mirror Shield for some reason. Here we go. It actually blew it up that time. I don't know. Nexus can be weird. But yeah, I definitely would throw in a copy of Legacy. And by a copy, I mean 3 copies of Legacy. It needs it. Dang. It's too bad. One of my zones, my pendulum zones, is blocked, so I can't pendulum summon in a more powerful monster. Because if I could just have one more beater on the field, I'd be able to do more, a lot more. Also, sorry about the background. Is just Sync running in the back. And pots and pans. And Spanish soap operas. And the garbage disposal. That'll do it. A dab will do you. Okay, Kirby. GG. I really did believe you had me, but I think I got you. So, first thing I'll do is destroy this monster. Then, if you Ancient Gear Reborn, I'll destroy whatever that monster is. I was bluffing so hard. Oh, shit. Okay, so if you hadn't have Ancient Geared Reborn, you could have just punished my 2000 monster really hard. Because he had no defenses. Like, if you just had something stronger, I only had 200 life points left. I thought you were just going to murder me. Good game, Kirby. We can best 2 out of 3 it, but I still want to get rid of those Mask of Restricts and put in Legacy of the Duelist. Mask of Restricts, it wasn't a good card to have in my deck in the first place. Ooh. Hashtag handshake. Good game, Kirby. I definitely enjoyed it. I honestly thought you had me. Because, like I said, it was the Ancient Gear Reborn. Like, if you hadn't have done that play. I think you still would have died, though. Because if you didn't put anything in the way, a 2200 just would have hit you directly. So I guess you didn't really have as much of a choice as I thought. I was thinking if you didn't do it, I would screwed. But I guess I kind of had it either way. It was that extra monster that got me. But I'm going to edit my deck real quick, Kirby. And then I'd be down to do a round 3. Would you be down? I keep trying to click say something in the live chat. And whenever I try to, it says sign into chat. But if I'm not signed in, how am I streaming? Kirby said yes. Okay, ballin'. So I'm going to edit the deck real quick. Excuse me. So I'm going to go to 2.18. Go to all these Mask of Restricts. You don't need any of these. Legacy of the Duelist. Because if I could just every turn just say no to like Reborn, like just be like, oh, it's just not on the board anymore. That's really helpful. Legacy of the Duelist gives you a lot more removal than... Is there any spell card that's better for like removing? Each player can only set one spell track card from their hand per turn. Let's see. So it also is a limiter. Monsters can attack the turn their special from the extra deck. That's another limiter because it causes summoning sickness. During your draw phase before your draw, you can give up your normal draw this turn, and if you do add one monster from your grave to your hand, it adds so much utility and just completely changes the game. What do you mean it's a free monster grab from the graveyard? Why does no one play it? It seems like it does a lot. Maybe I'm like overhyping the card. I don't know. But that's very weird that I never see Legacy of the Duelist get played. Maybe people don't like those restrictions, like extra deck summoning sickness. And I guess I already refreshed the page, but I want to make sure that the deck that I'm playing is the deck that I chose. And that I don't get cucked by it, because that would suck. Because I don't want to start the game and I have a bunch of Mask of Restricts in my hand. Okay, there we go. So XUXV worked. I refreshed, so I'm pretty confident that the deck is what I want. Ryan said it isn't a restriction, it's a feature. And I did save it, right? Okay. One more time. Gonna refresh XUXV. I want to make sure I don't get cut. Because Legacy is just better. Than Mask of Restrict for this kind of thing. Is there a card that prevents your opponent from playing continuous spells or traps? I am now ready for action. Oh, and Kirby, if you need any time to change anything in your deck, I totally understand. Especially since now you've seen what you're going up against. Like if you're like, oh, I could have easily gotten out of that if I had this or that. Then I'm fine with you making some changes if you want. Like I have time to wait. Ryan said no. Ryan, that's such a vague no. I have no idea what you're saying no to. He said Royal Decree negates traps. Oh, you're saying no, there's nothing that stops like continuous spells and traps. Specifically. I did the double rock play, Kirby, because most people will assume you'll never pick the same thing twice in a row. Okay, he got Ancient Gear Fusion immediately. Slap that on the board before I could get my whatchamacallit out. So who is this? Unaffected by other card effects. During your main phase, inflict 1,000. It's just burn. You can use this effect once per turn. This card is destroyed by bounces to the graveyard. You can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. This is interesting, not gonna lie. So I have a play? I think I can do the full play with this and get a stronger monster from it. This is kind of worth. Yeah, okay. Painful decision in order to do a search. Set my pendulum scales, setting silvered in the left scale. Now I'm going to set Volflame in the right scale. Okay. Now I'm going to activate Metamorphmation. Then I'm going to activate Hidden Armory. Hidden Armory mills exactly what I wanted to grab from my deck, so I just grabbed the one I milled. I grabbed Moon Mirror Shield. That was premature. Cancel that move. Won't let me cancel it. Hope that doesn't bite me in the ass. Okay. I Pendulum Summon Metalfoes Full Flame in attack position. He gets an attack boost due to the field play spell card. The field play spell card and the pendulum scales also make it where he's unaffected by my opponent's card effects. Twin Twisters! He waited so long. The patience. He waited until there were no cards left in my hand, and he was like, you know what? Nah, that was cool. Okay. So the thing now is, if I destroy your Ancient Gear Howitzer, you'll just special summon something stronger than my guy anyways. But I guess that's going to happen regardless. Like, I'm not sure if... No, it's not. You have, like, no cards in hand. We're going to wait this out, Kirby. I don't think this is that bad. It sucks I don't have Legacy, though. That's probably the biggest thing. But we're both pretty much on equal playing fields, except I have more on my field. Excuse me. So I'm not even sweating. We still got this. Battle phase. He's going to do it. Kirby, why? Kirby, no. This isn't as good of a play as you might think. Oh shit. Kirby, rethink it. It's not worth it. That was pretty good. I was like, it's not as good as you. And then he did that, and I was like, oh, well, you know what? That was okay. You got me. I wonder if Kirby just straight has me on the ropes. Because that Twin Twisters was pretty good. It is the bane of this deck. 4,800 damage direct. All right. Oh, is he gonna? He's like, I can do better than 48. 5,300 direct, more than enough to kill. All right. Hey, 3,000. Only got 22 left. Your boy got 23. He's like, and I'm gonna pop you. I'm gonna pop your full spell forget measure. Bam. Good game. Hashtag handshake. Kirby had that in the bag. The patience was real with that Twin Twisters. I vibe with that. Good game. I'm down for the third match out of 3. Let's see how it goes. Because that Twin Twisters play was pretty clutch. I did enjoy watching that happen. So yeah, I'm ready when you are. Hey. Whoa, Kirby vanished. Ryan appeared. Ryan disappeared. Kirby's reappeared. Random encounter. There we go. Now Kirby's ready. Kirby then said, I'm Batman. Okay. Snip, snip. Paper is the meta, which is how I knew that I needed to play scissors. It's the logic is here. Okay, there's one card I would really appreciate be really great if I had that one card. There are two different cards that I would actually really appreciate. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Dun, 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 dun. Jet watches and waits. Ancient Gear Fortress and Ancient Gear Castle. Kirby has 3 more cards in his hand. What is he planning? What is his true mission? His intention? Find out this week on this episode of Dueling Nexus. Dun 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 dun. He set another card and ended his turn. Kirby said, "My Nexus is being really slow." Oh, no problem. Bum, 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 bum. That's probably what I want to do. The lag. I am now seeing what Kirby's talking about. He says it takes like 20 seconds to play a card. Oh, trust, I am seeing it. I am watching this. And yet typing is like normal speed, it looks like, which is interesting. Waiting for Kirby, who also has to wait 20 seconds. The final round's in slow motion in order to increase the difficulty. What card is the guy pulling with Summoner's art in the artwork? This is just a different song. I was like, is the volume really low on a song that I like am familiar with? And then I was like, Ryan said it's a monster. I hit the wrong thing. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I love how the cancel button never works. It's too late. Did he put Twin Twister's face down? Because it's unnecessary. Kirby said the monster in the background is Cybertech Alligator. Thank you kindly. I know this song. But I should have put a different monster down. Hey. Okay, Kirby said, "Oh snap, his dad's here. He has to dip." He apologizes. No problem, Kirby. We can always do the final round at a later time. Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming by. This was the anniversary duel for Dueling Nexus between me and Kirby, but we will be able to do the 3rd round in the future. Have a wonderful night, Kirby. I understand. You got to head out. Since Kirby's heading out, I will probably dip from the stream as well. I have some comic books that I would like to read today and do videos on. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video, favorite, comment, subscribe, and you didn't ring that bell so you can notify whenever we do these live streams. It's your friend, your boy, Jet Life One and Only, logging out. Peace. Kirby said, I shall see you later. Okay, catch you later, Kirby. And then Ryan said, originally a pterodactyl, he was viciously attacked by a dragon. Using the newest technologies, his keeper saved him from near fatal wounds and brought him back as a powerful cyborg. That does sound like a dumb backstory. It's interesting though. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Peace. And thank you, Ryan, for providing the backstory for Cyber Alligator.